morning, everybody. Welcome to a lovely even light filming day here in Big Tahunga. This is Austin, and thank you for joining me, sir, with what promises to be a memorable experience. The Ford Crown Victoria. This is a police interceptor originally,
yes,
right?
271.
As a former police car owner myself, about it. Zach, our cameraman, had one of these, and it was awesome. But you've modified yours in several interesting and hilarious ways. So tell me about it.
Okay, so I kept the engine pretty much totally stock.
4.6.
4.6.
Yeah.
It's got 137,000 miles. I did throttle body plenum and then an air filter box. But then basically starting at the rear suspension, it's all Maximum Motorsport. Mustang tubular spherical control arms or ride height adjusters.
Still solid axle though.
Still solid axle. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Tokico D-spec shocks. 410 Ford racing gears with a limited slip.
Wow. So with a 410, this is a 4-speed automatic.
Yes.
Okay. So you're really revving on. You're really revving on the highway.
Yes.
All right.
And then also the body and frame are all welded together along the seams.
It's seam welded?
Yes.
Wow. Rally car. Okay. Well, let's have a go. I like it already, my friend. So it does actually, I had it in second, but it holds the revs pretty good.
Yes.
You got some high performance brakes.
I have Carbotech pads, XP10s.
Oh man, already it feels very NASCAR. Steering is, what have you done with the steering? This is different from any Crown Vic I've been in.
Nothing.
Nothing.
It has steering rack limiters.
Okay.
Just for the, just to help limit, because the tires are so wide in the front, 275s in the front, that they rub. And then
so
it
prevents the rub.
The smaller wheel. The smaller wheel is what really...
That's it. So it's just the impression of more direct steering based on a reduced steering wheel size diameter.
Yes, and I don't know why it helps so much, but it did.
And tell you something, on my C5 Corvette, it made all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
Interestingly,
so I love the wheel.
It really, but it's not just the wheel. This thing really does seem to corner pretty flat. It's firm but not abusive.
Yeah, I wanted to keep a little body roll because it still is a heavy car, so I wanted to still be able to lean some of the weight into the corners.
Yeah.
Because I autocross and track this car.
So where do you go to the track? Like Willow?
So I've mainly been doing autocross, and I just started getting into track, and I went to Fontana Speedway. And I did the competition layout.
Sorry, this car is hysterical. 275s at the front really help your turn in here. It's got very direct front end. It's cool.
It'll really grip.
What kind of tires are you running here?
Bridgestone RE71Rs.
Oh, those are good. Yeah, we race on those.
Oh yeah, I have them on all four. And it made the biggest difference out of just about anything.
And it's a square stance, obviously, right?
Yes.
It's not staggered? Yeah.
75 and 04.
Whoa, this car mobs, son.
Dynoed at 230 rear-wheel horsepower.
No, this is honestly, this is evidence that you really don't need a crazy amount of power to carry in a road like this.
I call my car a fat Miata.
You know, that's not a horrible description, actually. I mean, for something this big, I mean, you removed the interior, it actually feels kind of light, doesn't it?
It weighs in right around 3,700 pounds.
Right, 3,700 pounds. So this car, even though it's huge, and you can fit Triafahuas in the trunk, like it's actually like lighter than a new Camaro SS.
Yeah, and a new Mustang.
Yeah.
So it's just about, so that's what surprises people. People think, oh, it's 4,400 pounds. Or,
No. It's got great brake pedal feel too. This thing is awesome, dude.
Thank you.
I put this car in the same category as that modified Highlander I drove on this road recently, where you look at it and go, what's that gonna be? And then, oh wow, this drives like good. It's really talking to me. I can really feel right where I'm about to run out, and it tells me before I do.
That's a good thing.
This is very good.
Especially with the limited slip. It helped it a lot. Kind of figure out, because before it was just one wheel peel all day.
Yeah, and on this road, you know, this is a pretty fast road. So for here, it's really mostly third gear.
Yeah.
For your car. The 410s, I mean, I'm between 4 and 5,500 RPM.
Yeah.
The whole way down this road. So I'm just gonna flippin' the bitchin' here. Hello, officer.
Sir.
Hola. Oh, that is definitely not an officer.
No.
All right, uphill. So downhill is really the chassis braking test. Uphill is the power. It's got good torque.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't, especially when you add in the sound of that Mustang sound.
Yeah.
It gives you, the ass dyno might lie to you a little bit there and tells you that it's going a little quicker than it is.
I think the gears really brought the car to life.
That too.
And the exhaust is all boreless stuff.
I've said this before, but I love in American cars how easy it is to do axle ratios.
Yeah.
It's such a difference in performance and how the car drives, and American cars really have that game nailed, you know?
Oh yeah.
This section of the road here going uphill is we're going to see how the solid axle sorts mid-corner bumps, which should be pretty interesting. I love the steering. I can't believe it, but I love the steering. It's easy. It's all kind of right in between the 90s, you know?
Yeah, once you get rid of the steering bus wheel, you know, it all kind of comes together.
It's all awesome. This car rocks. So
Thank you.
So now it'll shift up.
Now to go to fourth.
Yeah, so even fourth is really revving out, huh?
Yeah. I don't get good gas mileage.
Can you put like one of those, I don't know the proper terminology, but like a reverse valve body shifter
You can
thing
put,
that those muscle car guys use to have a little better control over your gearbox?
well, I actually have a 3650 out of a Mustang.
Oh, okay.
And I have the clutch and the flywheel and everything. I'm just trying to get it together. So
So
it'll be
manual swap is next.
It'll be a 5-speed manual, yes.
Wow, look, see that? Those last two corners right there are where you really get these mid-corner bumps. And for a solid axle car, I mean, I know you said Maximum Motorsports, and
Yes.
believe me, I know what they know.
Oh yeah.
Those guys know exactly what they are doing.
They've helped me so much because not many people really race these.
Dude, my Mustang with their stuff handles so unbelievably well.
Yes.
This feels like kind of like the Crown Vic version of my Mustang, where it's not a lot of power, but you can just carry all the speed you want.
Yeah.
This car is really quite lovely, and it's shocking how good it is.
That's why I really wanted to focus on suspension first. And once I have that dialed in, then they add more power
Now
as
you
I
can
go.
go to power. Now
Yeah.
you can plop a Voodoo motor in this thing.
So I will tell you.
8,500 RPM out of it.
Oh, I love the 5.2. So I will tell you, the front suspension is basically 100% stock.
On this?
Yes, except for it's got adjustable inlinks for the sway bar. But besides that, stock shocks.
I almost don't believe it. I almost don't believe it. So it's really interesting. You can leave the front end mostly stock and sort the rear end out.
Yes.
And that kind of brings the front end up to its level.
Yeah, because the police interceptors have stiffer springs factory, so that's why the front end can really kind of keep up with the rear.
This thing is hilarious. And it's got this beautiful momentum. You can't, can you imagine? I never would imagine that somebody referred to a fucking Crown Victoria as a momentum car.
Yeah.
But it is. That's awesome.
I saw too many people just dragging out. You know,
No,
for
Austin,
drag
this
cars.
thing rips. This is a quick little car.
Thank you.
So, all right, we don't have to. I don't have to blow up your spot too hard. But if someone had a Crown Vic and they were willing to remove the interior and make their suspension, nicey, what's the damage on something like that?
Total in the car.
Yeah.
What I've spent, probably around $7,000. If you're
$7,000.
considering tires. and everything.
Yeah. It's a lot of car for $7,000. It really is a lot of car for
So
$7,000.
it's cheap. It's unexpected. I love Mustangs. I have an '89 Mustang.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's
And you
different.
could leave the back seat in.
Yeah.
Like the back seat, yeah, you save some weight.
Come
but-
on.
Of course, but like if you didn't want to completely ruin the
Oh, yeah, yeah,
practicality,
yeah.
like Zach, my cameraman, had this car and it was the most practical car imaginable. So you
Yes.
could take all of the things that you did, leave in the interior,
And still have a
and
functional-
still have a functional car. Thanks, Austin. That was
problem.
really, really
Thank you
fun.
very much.
I love being pleasantly surprised by stuff like this. And I thought it might be fun. You were confident enough in your email that I thought it might be fun, but you were right. You were right. This is sweet. So thanks for coming down, man.
No problem.
I appreciate it. You look like
Thanks for
Ryan
having me.
Turk, by the way. And thanks for watching. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.